What's going on, guys? All right, you see what the title is. All right, you see how I titled the video. Let's go. You see what the title of this video is. Holy ish. Let's go. Terrence Howard reveals shocking Diddy meeting and Hollywood's dark secrets. Now, it's something very specific. I hope this is the clip. I have seen this, but I hope this is the one. We'll see. You'll know when there's something very specific I want to talk about that he says. All right, let's just jump into it. If you want to subscribe, I definitely appreciate it. If you don't, then me saying it ain't gonna change your mind. So I hope you enjoy the video at least. I still appreciate you being here. All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Check out my Patreon. It's down below.
There's a short life in
Why do you think
world.
that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it.
Woo!
So when you give up that man card,
You know what he's
you don't
talking
get
about.
that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now, I'm
Yep,
saying
he
what
is.
I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time.
Facts.
You give up that right for anything, for
And it's
fear of
over.
being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting
Whatever
to
the
gain
reason.
something. When you give up that man card right,
done.
you
You're
lose
done.
some spiritual
Facts.
energy
Facts.
that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Man, facts.
So
Damn.
I
Damn.
believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because
It's coming.
they get
It's
fluid.
coming.
And next thing you know, once you go fluid,
They get fluid. Oh my God. Okay, it's coming. This is the same clip. All right, let's go. Believe it or not, that's actually not what I have a lot to say about. I mean, that's something we all know. That's something everybody knows anyway. Should know. I hope they know. But I mean, so let's. It's something else. It's something else that I got something to say big time about. All right, let's go.
it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from.
Yeah.
So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing.
Who is this dude? I've seen him so many times. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a lot. He's always talking about this type of stuff. I mean, not this type of stuff specifically, but like just, obviously he's like some kind of journalist or something. I don't know. What is this guy's name? I see him everywhere, but I've never heard his name one time. But anyway, yeah, he's got some good content for sure. All right, let's keep going.
You went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs.
Right. And because how do you look yourself in the mirror? How do you live with yourself if you've knowingly, willingly given and you know what he's talking about. We know what he's talking about here, guys. Okay, it is. I mean, everybody knows what he's meaning by what he's saying. Okay, so how can you possibly look yourself in the mirror? How can you live with yourself knowing? I mean, if you go that way, then that's probably not such a big deal to you or whatever. which I mean, let me change that, because clearly you do go that way if you did that, if you were willing to do what he's talking about, obviously, but you didn't really want to do it necessarily, but you did it to get ahead, you did it for money, whatever the reason, whatever it is, it's no reason good enough, obviously, to sell your soul that way, and it is selling your soul, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So how can you possibly move on is what I'm saying. If you really don't, like, you've never done that, you've never wanted to do that necessarily, and you literally did do it technically just for a specific role, power, whatever you want to call it. I mean, in the end, you did what you did. So, I mean, some party you wanted to, whatever. No, and I'm not talking about kids, okay? I'm not talking about Justin Bieber at 14, 15 years old. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about grown men that willingly give themselves up and, give something up to other men. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So don't get me wrong. I'm not putting anything on any kind of kid or anything. Definitely not. I'm just saying, for grown men, adults that do the same type of shit, that do this type of stuff that he's talking about, you could never actually move on from that, in my opinion, knowing that you did that you sold yourself, that you sold your soul, that you went that way. Whatever reason you try to justify it for, you did it. So, I mean, all right, let's keep going. I'm rambling, but you know what I'm trying to mean. I can't actually say the damn word. Maybe I can. I don't know. We're going to see, because what he's about to say in a minute or so, I'll probably slip up and say it. But anyway, let's go.
And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
All right.
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with
Look, oh God, guys, I can't tell you how much this pains me to hear this shit about Diddy. I've tried my best to not believe the stuff about him. Nobody's ever actually seen him doing anything like that. I mean, if they have, they're not talking about it, at least that I know of. It's all allegations. It's all, hearsay. It's all what people hear. Obviously, 50 Cent has been throwing shots at Diddy for being GAY for years and years and years. Obviously, a lot of people think that, obviously, but nobody ever talks about actually seeing him doing anything, but that's probably where these accusations come from. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, believe it or not. That's not even what I'm waiting to hear, to talk about. There, okay, it's coming next, I'm pretty sure, because we only got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna be pissed if this thing doesn't have the quote that I'm waiting for in here. I think it is, though. But anyway, all right, let's keep going. So, hey, but he did the right thing. I mean, if this is true, now, I'll play devil's advocate here. Maybe he wasn't really wanting to do that with Terrence Howard. Maybe that's the way he sizes people up, trying to intimidate them, looking at them. I don't know. That's weird as hell. There's absolutely no denying that you're just looking at a dude like that, staring at him. That's insane to me, but these people are very strange, some of them, and it's not necessarily meaning that type of thing, but just whatever. He thought it might be, so he's like, all right, cut off all communication, cut off all contact, facts, absolutely, because nope, I'm not having anything to do with that. All right. Let's keep going. Terrence Howard is spitting nothing but facts. I didn't know he made music. I've got to listen to some of his music. It's insane. It's insane. What does he talk? Oh my God, I can't imagine the things he talks about. This is the same dude that has taught seminars for the meaning of 2 times 1 is not 2, it's 3. 1 times 1 is not 1, it's 2. Because his whole mathematic thing is insane. I love to listen to him talk about that stuff. I could listen to that all day. He's so interesting. This dude is brilliant. Just to be honest. But anyway, I don't know what kind of music he does, but that'd be crazy to listen to. I got to listen to some of that. Now, I watched the show Empire. I watched every season of it. I think it had 4 or 5 seasons, something like that. And he was great in it. He's a great actor, obviously. I've seen him in a ton of stuff. But, yeah, of course, he was a music producer and a music maker on that show. But I didn't know he actually messed with making music in real life. All right. Yeah, that's fire. I got to check out some of his stuff because that would be insane. All right, let's keep going. I know I'm rambling. Guys, it's coming up. Here we go. It's got to be coming up next.
That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, no,
now
thank you.
So now no more communication.
We're good.
Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction.
Woo!
It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept.
Woo!
So
That's
always
a bar.
be a man in the room.
That's a bar. There's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks in a room. A guy might take the shit you're going to dish out to him and might be willing to put up with the nonsense and go along to get along. There ain't no messing around when you're talking to a real man. Come on. He is spitting truth. Let's go.
And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that.
No. Hold on. I'm about to. You don't get just a clap. You don't get just a clap. You get the whole screen. I'm standing up right now. I'm standing up. Standing ovation. Yo. I have never in my life heard an actor say that. Now, not to say that there's no actors doing that there's no actors that feel the same way, and not to say that there haven't ever been one that said it. I'm sure there has been. Obviously, I'm sure they did back in the day, 20 years ago, further back than that, obviously, I'm sure. But nowadays, that's unheard of. That is unheard of. Like I say, I know there's male actors that feel that way because they don't play those roles. There's plenty of male actors that I've seen that have never played those roles. Now, they could have. It's just not something that I've seen. Of course, I don't watch those type of movies or shows, obviously, if it has that kind of trash in it. But pretty much every show, every movie has characters like that now, unfortunately. But it's not the main characters, because otherwise I wouldn't be watching it, of course. But, hey, all I can say is thank you for the fast forward button and the skip button, because when shit like that comes up, bop, 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 it's fast, skip. But anyway, yeah. So I can't ever remember anybody saying that. And like I say again, obviously I'm sure there's guys that feel that way. But would they ever say it? Would they ever admit it like that? Would they ever be so blunt about it to say that, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, obviously, I'm sure they've turned down roles, but would they be so flat out up front to say it like this? No, I don't think so, because they're afraid of being canceled and afraid of all the, all the blowback they would get from it. All right, let me make myself smaller again. And I want to, I want to talk about that, though. I want to talk about the complexities of that a little bit. And I'm going to let him finish, and then I'll end it with what I wanted to say about that whole thing. Yeah, so let's keep going.
Shit.
Let's
Because
go.
of compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit.
Damn right.
Because the man card means everything.
Woo!
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolute. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of
No,
this
I
specific
mean,
reason?
I'm still working. I still, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I set out to do.
Here he goes.
And that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or
Yep.
not, that's up to them. But I've done the work and finished it. Now I can go on and do whatever else we need to do. Hi, everyone. My name is Terrence Howard.
What the hell?
I'm an actor, but in the field of science also. So if you would like to connect with me, you
There
can
it
connect
is.
with me on Minect.
All right, I'll
The
let him get
QR
that
code
in.
is down below, and let's have a great conversation.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this.
Yeah, have a conversation with one of the smartest people to ever walk the earth. Yeah, you're probably not going to do too well if you're trying to argue with him. But anyway, all right, guys. So now, this is what I wanted to say. So, look, you know how I feel about the shit he was saying and about people like that. All right, if you've watched the channel for long enough, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you've heard my thoughts on that mess, on that nonsense going on in the world, people that are like that and everything. All right, so it's not even about that. But what I'm saying, so this dude said that I don't play GAY roles. I don't kiss men. So I will play a role, I'll play a part, I'll play a character, it's all make believe. But no, there's a difference between playing a drug dealer, a serial killer, whatever. You're not actually doing the shit on there. You play a dude that's kissing another dude, you're actually making out with a man. You're playing a gay. Now, some people play these roles and they don't actually ever they don't ever actually do anything. That don't happen now. But like back in the day when people played that, they didn't put that on TV. It wasn't graphic shit. Now it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If you sign up for a role like that, you're going to be doing some shit for sure. There's no doubt about it. But he said, no, I'm not playing the role, and I'm certainly not actually doing the act, for any reason. So I just applaud. Oh man, I was starting to wonder if there was anybody out there, any male actors that really would not do it. I mean, like I say, there's ones that I've never seen do it, but I haven't seen everything they've ever done, obviously. And I mean, the top stars, you figure like, okay, they're probably at a point to where, yeah, they would never do that, and they don't have to, of course, which nobody fucking has to, let's be real. But you know what I mean, the mindset of some people thinking that way. But anyway, so this is the point I want to make, guys. And a lot of people, they laugh that off, they blow that off, pause. But anyway, they write that off like it's not that serious. It's just acting. It doesn't mean anything. All right. Okay. So what you're saying, they're not actually that way in real life. They're married, got a girlfriend, whatever. They sleep with a lot of women. Okay. All right. Cool. So they would never do that in real life. The only reason they're doing that is for money. Right? It's for a role. It's for money. They shut themselves off. It doesn't mean anything, whatever. Okay? I've never believed that, ever. I've had arguments with plenty of people because people say that. I say, you do that on camera, you do that for a role, you do that for any reason. You're that way. You are GAY. Okay? You are that way. And I have no, no, I don't rock with you if you do that at all. I can't approve of you if you do that kind of shit. So, and people say it's just acting. It's not that big a deal. No, you're actually doing that. But anyway, so their point is they're just acting. They're not like that in real life. They don't really do that, Okay, and maybe they don't, which I think they probably do. But let's say they never have. The only time it ever happens is boom, right there on the camera, and they've never even wanted to do it in real life. Cool, whatever. The point is, they did it. Whatever the reason was, for money, for power, whatever, they did it. It doesn't change the fact that they did it. It doesn't matter what the reason is. Answer me this. Answer me this, and I'm gonna ride off after this one, after I make this point. Is a hitman a murderer? You say, well, what are you talking about? Of course, he kills people for a living. He murders people. Okay. So he gets paid and he goes and does it. He's never done it for free, never done it, would never do it without getting paid, would never off somebody unless he's getting a huge amount of money, whatever amount of money, had to come up, maybe did it for a couple hundred, couple thousand at first, and then got bigger and bigger, whatever the case is. That's not the point I'm making. But is a hitman not a murderer? Well, of course he is. Yeah, you're right. Of course he is. But he only does it for money. He only does it for money. He doesn't do it for free. He would never do it unless he was getting paid. Just like they would never do those roles. They would never go through those intimate acts with another man without being paid in their personal lives. If they weren't getting paid for it, if they weren't getting a big check for it, doesn't change the fact that they did it. The dude that's a hitman, he's a murderer. Whether he's that for free or whether he's that just for the money only, he did it. He killed people. So that makes him a murderer, whatever the reason is for it. He did it. He's that. They did it. They are GAY. That's it. All right? Doesn't matter the reason. They committed the act. They did it. So, since they did it, that's what they are. All right. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. But, man, Terrence Howard went crazy. I applaud him for saying it so bluntly and for being a real dude. Absolutely. So my respect for him, I already had a lot of respect for him. I've always liked his roles that he's played in movies and stuff. Like I say, I watched the show Empire, which kind of surprises me that he feels that strongly about that. I mean, not that he would feel that way for himself or anything. It's just because of the whole Empire thing. There was some shit like that in there. Obviously, the creator of it is a dude that's that way, by the way, Lee Daniels. So, but I mean, he's not saying, that he wouldn't ever work with anybody like that. He's just saying that, look, that's not me. I'm a real man. I don't do that type of shit. So I'm not going to play the roles. But anyway, yeah. So, like I say, yeah, I saw him on that. Seen him in movies, of course. Great actor. But yeah, my respect for this man just absolutely skyrocketed through the roof. But anyway, yeah. So I appreciate him saying that and bringing shining some light on this type of stuff. Absolutely. So yeah. But anyway, all right, guys, that's it. That was a very long video. If you're here at the end, I appreciate you. Drop it in the comments. Just put here at the end, whatever, or the end. You can put whatever. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for listening to me rant. We're 25 minutes in. That is a definite good stopping point, but I hope I didn't repeat myself too much. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of this. Do you agree with what he said? Do you agree with what I said? Or do you think I'm just an idiot? I'm sure people are going to be pissed at what I said, obviously, but I can't stop being me, guys. I can't stop speaking out against things that that are sickening, that are evil, that I don't rock with. All right, I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. If it loses me subscribers, it loses me subscribers, whatever. But yeah, this stuff is good to talk about, I think. So yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments. All right, guys. Love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Would not have a channel without you. Stay safe. Be careful. I'm gone.